Hi everyone! Today's lesson is about transitive and intransitive verbs. So just what is a transitive verb? And what's an intransitive verb? It sounds like intransitive must be the opposite of transitive. Well, you're right. I'll start off by explaining transitive verbs. Let's get started. Transitive verbs are verbs that only make sense if they have a direct object. So what's a direct object? Well, it's a noun or pronoun that experiences the action of the verb. The direct object answers the questions who or what. I'll give you a couple of examples. The first one is, Marie lost her wallet. The subject is Marie, the verb is lost, and the direct object is the part of the sentence that answers the question, what did Marie lose? The answer, of course, is her wallet. So, her wallet is the direct object. Another example. Can you bring your guitar to the party? The subject, of course, is you. And the verb is can bring. Can is a modal auxiliary here. Now remember, to find the direct object, you have to ask who or what of the subject. So the question here is, what am I asking you to bring? And the answer is, your guitar. So, your guitar is the direct object. To the party is just a prepositional phrase that gives you some more information about bringing your guitar. Now, what if I use the sentences without a direct object? The first one would be, Marie lost. If you're a native speaker, you're going to wonder, what did Marie lose? You might wonder, what is she talking about? What about the other sentence? Can you bring? Can you see why these two sentences just don't work? What do you want me to bring? This is what transitive verbs are all about. They don't make any sense without a direct object. Okay, so what about intransitive verbs? First, an intransitive verb must not be followed by a direct object. The sentence won't make any sense. Sentences with intransitive verbs are often followed by a prepositional phrase or by an adjective. Two common transitive verbs are arrive and die. I'll explain here with this example. If I say to you, Mac arrives, the question to determine whether this verb is transitive or intransitive is, who or what does Mac arrive? That doesn't make sense. Don't forget, it's what or who. You can't use any other WH questions. So, Mac arrives what? Doesn't make sense. Arrive is an intransitive verb. You can't arrive something. You can say, Mac arrives on time for work every day, and that gives us more information about Mac arriving, but it doesn't answer the questions who or what does Mac arrive. There's no way to answer that. The other example is die. Suppose we say, our cherry tree died last year. You can't ask what or who did our cherry tree die. That makes no sense at all. Die is an intransitive verb. Some common intransitive verbs are arrive, come, fall, go, live, travel, sleep, and wait. There are some verbs that can be transitive or intransitive depending on how they're used in a sentence. Let's look at a couple of those. Monica is driving her new BMW. What do you think, transitive or intransitive? If you said transitive, you're right. But what if I say Monica drives to work? Now what do you think, transitive or intransitive? Can you answer the question, what does Monica drive? Well, you know she drives her new BMW, but you don't know that from this particular sentence. Monica drives to work. This doesn't tell you. In this sentence, drive is intransitive. So the verb drive can be transitive or intransitive. It depends on how you use it. Let's do one more pair. Marcos opened the door. What did Marcos open? The door. The door is the direct object, so you know this one has to be transitive. Next, the door opened. What did the door open? The door didn't open anything. It opened itself. It just opened. This one is intransitive. So you can see that open can be transitive or intransitive. If you watched my last video on stative and action verbs, you'll know about the list of verbs that I have on my website. This list shows not only whether verbs are stative or action, but also whether they're transitive or intransitive, or they can be both. If you catch an error, please bring it to my attention. I put this list together myself, and I've found a few errors, but there may be some I missed. I also have translations for most of these verbs in Spanish and in Turkish. The original list I got from a student had the Spanish translations, and I've gotten some help from other Spanish-speaking students with mistakes there and translations for most of the verbs I've added. A wonderful former Turkish student translated most of them into Turkish. I need to reformat those to have the added information that I just put in. But if you'd like one of these lists with the translations, write to me and I'll send it to you just as soon as I finish updating them. And that's all I'm going to do this time. I'm working on some other projects for you, and I'm trying to make my lessons a little shorter. Grammar can be tiring, I know. So keep working on it. You've come a long way. Remember, you can always ask me an English question. If you look at the menu on my website, you'll see a tab that says Ask Me an English Question. It's found here and here. Click either one of these and you can easily ask me a question or make a comment. Here's what this page looks like. Just put your name and email address here so I can write back to you with my answer or comment. Your messages go to my email address. I want to ensure you that if you give me your email address, no one else will see it. This is just so I can answer you in an email. You can also comment on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page. It's Alex's ESL World. You can even email me at alex@alexeselworld.com. I'd love to hear from you, and if you have any suggestions that would be helpful. I'm still new at this. And that's all for today. Make it a great day, and remember to be kind to each other. Bye now.